Alright guys, so this is the first part of Algebra 2 final review for spring 2015. I'm going to go and do some of the examples. The one I'm going to do first is number 2. So let's look at number 2 here. You want to express the logarithm base 3 of 6 plus logarithm base 3 of 4.5. So one of the properties for logarithms is when you have adding two logarithms, you can use the product property and you can condense, which means you are going to multiply the numbers. And the numbers you're going to multiply are not the bases. So let me do the work here. You have the log base 3 and you multiply the number 6 and 4.5. So when you multiply that, you keep the logarithm with the base of 3, and the product is 27. Now remember that logarithms is something that we used to find exponents. So we are asking here 3, which is your base, to what power, what exponent is going to give you 27? And the answer is 3. 3 to the third power equals 27. So the exponent we're looking for is 3. Now question number 3, same thing, but you have a minus, you're subtracting, as you can see here, logarithms. This is the quotient property. When you subtract, you are going to divide. You're going to make a fraction. So you keep the same base here with the log. Take the first number and you divide by 4. So you simplify the fraction. So we have log base 2 of 16. And once again, we are asking the same question here. You look at the base. 2 to what power gives you 16? 2 to what exponent equals 16? So the exponent we're looking for, let me put an equal sign here, is 4. So B is your answer. Now, number 4, it was a very common question in my classroom. We have a logarithm with an exponent. So you are simplifying the expression. So here's what you do. First, with the exponent, you have a negative 3. We can move them, and this is the power property of exponent. You can move it to the front of the logarithm. So you keep the negative 3 here, log base 3, and then we have a 27. You can simplify or evaluate log 3 of 27. We did that in number 2, but you can also do it again. You're asking, you're looking at the logarithm, 3 base of 3 to what power is 27? So the exponent we have to use is 3. So we are going to keep, well, first let's go ahead and write down the value. So the value for that logarithm is 3, and you bring down the negative 3 that we have in front of the log. Now you multiply. So negative 3 times 3 will be negative 9. All right, so the next question. The next question is going to be a little bit longer. It is the word problem. So let me go over here and let's look at number 8. I am going to erase that work in a little bit, but number 8 is right here. All right, so let me get this out of the way. So they give you guys a formula. You have a logarithm. They talk about miles. They give you guys the value of B, which is atmospheric pressure, and the height. Remember that when they give you guys values of some variables, you plug them in, substitute, and then you're trying to answer the question. Now the question is, what is the outside pressure? And if you look up here, P is the outside pressure. So we're looking for P. Sorry guys. They do give you the value of B. So let's go ahead and highlight that value. B equals 31. And they give us the height, 3.6. So using the formula, I am going to substitute. So here's a long formula up here. H height is 3.6. We keep the negative. We have the 100 over 9. And P is what we're looking for. Now B is 31, so I'm going to substitute 31 there. Since we have decimals 3.6 on the left side, I'm going to turn the fraction into a decimal. So I keep the 3.6, there's the negative, and 100 divided by 9, you can round to 2 decimals. I like to round off to 2 decimals. Some people round off differently, and we might have a different answer because of that case. The round off error is called. People round off differently. But we have 11.11, and we have log P over 31. We have to get rid of the negative 11.11, so I'm going to divide. So this cancels, and we get negative 0.32 on this side equals log P over 31. Now remember that we're solving for P. Since we have a fraction with the logarithm, we have to expand, we have to separate. So I'm going to use the quotient property again. Keep the negative 0.32 here. I'm going to subtract. So I take the log P minus, and I have log of 31. I'm going to try to move the page. Hopefully this works and everything stays on its place. Okay, so I'm just making more space here, but I am going to continue with the work. There we go. So I'm going to continue to work here, and we can evaluate this here. So everything says the same. Negative 0.31 minus, and I have 1.49. I'm just running off to 2 decimal places. Again, people run off differently, so we might have a different answer, but we always like to look for the closest one. You add 1.49 to both sides. So we get positive 1.17 equals log P. P is not by itself, that's what we're trying to solve. So to cancel the log, we do the opposite of logarithms. Keep in mind the opposite is exponential, and the opposite of exponential is logarithms. So since we have no base here, we actually have an imaginary 10. This is log base 10. So I'm going to change that to exponential. Here's the base 10. I go to the other side of the equation, which is 1.17, and that's the exponent. 1.17 equals P. So again, guys, I am running out of space, but I'm going to write down the answer over here. When you do that on the calculator, it equals, and I'm going to round up to 2 decimal places, 14.79. So P is right here, and obviously we got a really close answer, which is B.